It was good. It was good to just shake the cobwebs off. You know, you get anxious doing all the running and lifting and team building stuff all summer, and everyone's pretty antsy to get out there. You're like a kid on Christmas morning, ready to get the helmet on, and then it's a whole nother deal when you get the pads on. But today was a good start.
What was it like, out there? And obviously, there's a little bit of rust, like you said, but with it being the vets and you guys apparently having a good summer, and you feel like you kind of were able to hit the ground running a bit?
Yeah. Today just felt different. People were more active, communicating a lot better, and I think we took a step forward, and we were kind of already past the first practice jitters a little bit because we prepared for it this summer a lot. We did really well in PRPs. Everything was structured, and we knew exactly what we needed to get done coming into camp.
For the D-line, even more exciting to get out there. Obviously, 9 guys gone from last year's team. A lot of guys going to get more playing time probably than they got before and fighting for spots. I mean, is the D-line a position in particular where you guys were extra excited to get going and show Coach Caldwell what you guys can do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we put in a lot of work this summer, and so we were excited to show him what we've done. And I think one of the things that definitely showed up was our conditioning. I felt like people ran to the ball a lot better, and that's definitely one of our points of emphasis. So just seeing young guys finally getting their chance. A lot of people have been kind of chomping at the bit to get their shot to get out there, playing behind a lot of really good players that we've lost from before, and just kind of learning from them and kind of rising to the occasion.
You're one of the senior leaders in this team. Have you noticed Tanner Blaine, any difference in him? Obviously with being suspended for the bowl game, and have you noticed a difference in him? During the spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, and if anything, that suspension propelled him. I mean, he has done everything the coaches have asked and more. He's been an incredible teammate and just worked his tail off this summer, and I'm really excited for him this season.
How big is he for your team, whether it's leadership-wise or they want to get him out there as much as they can and get him in space a little bit? How big is he for you guys this season?
Huge. I mean, every position on our defense is pivotal, but having a huge linebacker core like we have, that's huge, and all of them being leaders is definitely a step in the right direction. We went through this team building thing last week, and he showed up and really got to work hard, and just to see a bunch of different leaders on the defense is really cool. We don't just have one, and we have multiple at each position, and so it kind of sets a standard for each position and as a defense as a whole.
How was that military training?
It was cool.
Yeah. Did you guys do that much before, or
Never.
was that kind of new?
I mean, since I've been here, that was the first time I've ever done it, and it was cool. They just take you and they don't toss you into the line of fire. They literally throw you out there, and you're getting yelled at, and you got all this stuff going on. But I mean, it was hard, but it was a cool experience.
What did you guys have to do for it?
Man, it was a lot. We did some field work, we did some pool work, all the above.
Was there anything that was more difficult than the next? For you?
I think I don't know. I kind of swam growing up, not like on a swim team or anything. I wasn't on like the high school swim team, but I've always been comfortable around water, so that wasn't as hard for me. But there were definitely some guys who aren't very comfortable in water, and they didn't give them a break. They didn't give them a life jacket or anything. They were out there ready to go. And it was cool because us guys who were a little bit better at swimming, it gave us the opportunity to go and help them out and kind of be not lifeguards, but kind of assistants as the workout went through, but it was good.
When talk with coaches and your fellow players about you, they'll kind of like just shake their head and talk about the type of technician you are and the type of effort that you constantly bring. How important is that, considering you do have some young pieces around you on the defensive line?
It's huge because you can't take a snap off, because the young guys see you take a snap off, and then they feel like they can do it. And so you need to hold yourself to that standard so you can set the bar high for them. And I think that's one of the things that I've tried to hold myself to, is never take a rep off and never kind of show weakness. Always try and stand up tall, even if you're really tired and you're gasping for air, don't show it. And, that's one of the things I've tried to teach them. And one of the things that Caldwell goes back to is I think one of the things that has molded me as a player the most was getting thrown into 3-tech my sophomore year, because I was playing really small, and I think I'm bigger now than I was playing inside back then. And so what I had to do back then is I had to really focus on my keys, get my reads, get my like pre-snap cheats, and then I had to like really focus on pad leverage and hand placement, all these little things that go into it. And I think that's kind of help mold me as a player, just to kind of take step, like kind of slow the game down for yourself a little bit.
Did it help mold you kind of as probably a leader too? I mean, you have David Moe, at least on the, he's about 40, 30 pounds lighter than a guy like Armand Nance, who was playing, that inside position last year. So considering you've kind of been through that before, does that help you? Did your knowledge help you help those guys?
Yeah, of course, because I'm not like an outsider being an end trying to help a nose guard. I know exactly what he needs to do, and I know what it's supposed to look like, so I can step out from my position and say, hey, that's not right, you need to do this. And so it kind of helps. I mean, it definitely has helped me know all the positions, and then just overall being in the program for this long, I know the scheme of the defense, so I know where the linebackers are fit, and I know what throws them off if you take a bad step. And so I'm trying to teach the young guys that it's not just trying to go in and make your play, is to help the guys behind you so the whole defense can work as one.
What is kind of the feeling like in that room? Last year you guys had 7 seniors. I think you and Ellie are the only 2 seniors, I think, this year.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of the feeling in the room with maybe kind of different compared to last year?
I'd say hungry. We have a lot to prove. We haven't done anything. And definitely that's probably the best word to describe it. We're all have something to prove. We have a chip on our shoulder, and we're just going out there, putting the work in, trying to get us better. We're not worried about anybody else right now.
Curious, some of the coaches have talked about, there are going to be some true freshmen that probably are going to have to contribute this year, and some of them are up front.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Caldwell said something along the lines of, you guys have been kind of giving him feedback on which guys have been putting in the work and impressing you. So who might be some of those guys for you?
I mean, I think all the defensive linemen who came in have showed tremendous effort and a lot of potential. They're on paper, they look fantastic. It'll be interesting to see who really shows up today, because you can do things without pads on and kind of PRPs out there and workouts, and someone can look great through workouts, and then all of a sudden when plays start coming at them and they need to think on the run, they shut down and can't really work. So it's going to be interesting to see who can kind of stay composed getting thrown into fall camp as a freshman. And we're doing 2 separate practices, so it'll be nice to get to watch them and kind of coach them a little bit. But yeah, I'm curious to see it as well.